There we go. Is that right?
Yes, sir, that looks correct.
Okay, then I'm done with my homework.
Great. What do you want for dinner?
Let's see. How about hamburgers?
That sounds good, but there's a little problem. I can't have hamburgers.
Why?
Because of the bun. I'm on keto, remember? I can't have bread.
Well, I got a solution for that.
Hi, I'm Raymond.
And I'm Jordan.
And welcome to Crimson Kitchen, where the kitchen is red.
And the hamburgers have buns.
That's right. One of the reasons that a lot of people were hesitant to try the ketogenic diet is because they feel they have to give up so many staples.
Like candy and potatoes and bread.
And bread. But if you actually get out there and look, there's a lot of breads that fit well with the ketogenic diet. There's yeast breads and quick breads and mug breads. Well, today I'm going to show you one of my favorites.
So you can scratch bread off that list.
It's a bun it's a quick bread that's about 90 seconds in the microwave, and it is as succulent and tasty as it is quick and convenient. So let's get started.
Let's go. Okay, now for the ingredients. 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 egg white. Now, what we use is the 100% liquid egg white from carb. So if you're using that like us, it's 3 tablespoons of this. 2.5 tablespoons almond flour. 1/2 tablespoon of psyllium husk powder. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And now for the seasonings. This is 1/2 teaspoon of basil, 1/2 teaspoon of sage, and 1/2 teaspoon of sesame seeds. Because what's a hamburger bun without sesame seeds? You can make this hamburger bun in any hamburger bun size, microwave safe dish that you have. We like to use this one. It's cheap and it's Rubbermaid from Walmart, and it's the perfect size. And now we're gonna do the dry ingredients, and then my dad's gonna do the wet ones after. So first we're gonna need the almond flour, the 2.5 tablespoons of this, pour that, and then last but not least, this. There we go. And then 1/2 tablespoon psyllium husk. There we go. Put that in there. Okay. 1/4 teaspoon of this baking powder. Okay. Now, gotta do that. Import it. It was there, I guess.
Oh, we forgot the seasonings, huh?
We forgot the seasonings. Okay. We can just pour them in now?
Yeah, just pour them straight in there. Not the sesame seeds. They're gonna...
Yeah, I know that. The sesame seeds are going to be after we make the dough. So keep stirring. We're good. And now Dad's going to do the wet ingredients.
Before we add these wet ingredients, one dry ingredient that we forgot to mention is 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can use kosher salt or pink Himalayan sea salt or table salt, whatever you prefer. I'm just using table salt here, but we want to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so now we're going to add our olive oil. And our egg whites. Now, this is optional, but I find that if we add a tablespoon of water, that is going to make our bun much more moist and fresh tasting. So now we want to mix this very well. And at first it's going to be very wet, but in just a few moments you'll find that psyllium husk begins to soak up the water and the moisture from those egg whites, and the dough begins to firm up. What I like to do is let that dough settle a little, and then we want to just bang this thing on the countertop. And what that's going to do is it's going to force the dough to settle. We don't want any bubbles or anything in the bottom there, because it's going to make our bun uneven. All right, and then what I like to do, and again this is optional, but I like to kind of just take the back of I like to use these little plastic spoons here. I like to use the back of a spoon and shape this thing just a little bit. See, I'm kind of pressing down around the edges there, and that kind of gives it a little bit of a hamburger bun shape. And you can see now that this dough has really thickened up. And so now we're going to take our teaspoon of sesame seeds and we're just going to sprinkle them around on the top there. And then let's just press them into the dough a little bit with the back of our spoon. Just a tad. We're going to put this into the microwave for 90 seconds. And we'll be back in a minute. Out comes a very fragrant, it smells so good. Those that sage and that basil just give it a nice aroma. We do have a little bit of a bubble there, but that's okay. Now you saw how easily this thing just fell right out of that bowl. You don't have to worry about greasing your bowl or putting any oil in there or anything. It doesn't stick at all. It's not an issue. It'll just pour right out of there. And we're going to give this thing just a moment to cool, and then we're going to slice it. Okay, our bread has had a few moments to cool, and now we're going to slice it. Little tip here: if you get, like I did, if you get a little bubble or an imperfection in your dough, and there's one side that's thinner than the other side, slice from that side. That way you'll be sure to have two complete halves of your bun. See, I'm slicing right in the middle of that thin side there. And this is still pretty hot, but this, you'll be able to see the texture and the consistency of the bread here once I slice into it. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, look at that. That's a nice, and it feels, it's hot and it's moist and it's thick. It's got a good density to it, but it's not crumbly. It holds together very well. It's a thick, heavy bread. Very tasty. So I'm going to cook another one of these so Jordan and I can have one, and then we're going to make some hamburgers, and we'll be back in a few moments for a taste test. Okay, and we're back. We're ready for a taste test. Now, one thing that I've done here, Jordan, is I've made us a third one that we can eat just by itself, so we can try just the bread alone without it being part of the hamburger.
Okay. Then we got it in a hamburger, of course, because that's our dinner for tonight. And
this one is nice and hot. Now, one tip here, guys, is when you make this hamburger bun, you want to take this out of the microwave and you want to slice it just as soon as you're able to handle it without burning yourself, and then serve it nice and hot. Because
why is that?
Well, because when you do that, it's more moist and fresh tasting, like you're going to see right here in just a moment. I'm going to put this butter on here, and it should still be hot enough to
that's hot.
melt this butter very well.
Yeah, that can definitely melt some butter. It's hot.
All right, there's a nice buttery bite right there. One for you and one for me. Try that bite with that good butter on it. Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a very heavy bread and it holds together very well. It's got a good texture to it and it's sort of unique. You need to try it. It's the herbs, the sage and the basil just really set it off so nicely. It's got a nice herby taste to it.
And now for the hamburger.
Now what we've got here is we've just got cheeseburgers. I made some cheeseburgers with quarter-pound cheeseburgers with good fresh cheddar cheese that I sliced myself, and then I sauteed some mushrooms and onions along with the hamburgers, and I've got some tomatoes on mine.
I don't really like tomatoes.
Jordan doesn't like tomatoes except for in tomato sauce and spaghetti and pizza and things like that. Yeah, he doesn't like plain tomatoes like on his hamburger. So give it a try, son, and see what you think there about the hamburger bun. Action.
Oh, that was a good meal, Dad.
Yeah. So Jordan and I just finished our hamburgers and we are stuffed.
Yeah.
I hope you'll try this hamburger bun, and if you do, please leave me a comment down below. And we're a new YouTube channel, so we're not getting a lot of comments right now. And I can promise you that we'll read everyone and respond to any questions that you have. Let us know what you think. If you've got anything useful out of this, or if you've enjoyed it, you've just enjoyed having dinner with us, then please
leave a like and subscribe.
Yeah, please leave us a like and subscribe and share, and that's really very appreciated. And
I was about to say leave a like and subscribe.
thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time on
Crimson Kitchen. Goodbye.